My mind's playing tricks on me. Why won't it let me be? Look inside and try to find, but nothing seems to give me sweet relief. Why won't it let me be? Look inside and try to find, but every time it seems I lose my mind. My mind. Oh, It's Self-Helpless with Kelsey Cook, Delaney Fisher, and Taylor Tomlinson.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Self-Helpless. I'm Taylor Tomlinson.
I'm Delaney Fisher.
I'm Kelsey Cook.
And we're so excited about today's topic. Very relatable, highly requested, but we're just going to get into it real quick. Shout out to Vented in Brooklyn. They are back for every amazing, gorgeous, hand-hammered copper aromatherapy bracelet that you purchase from them. They donate to someone fighting cancer. And I can't get over how much I love this company.
And they have necklaces.
And they have necklaces. They're branching out. They have all kinds of stuff. You can get a bracelet and a necklace, be completely decked out in
wild.
aromatherapy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the ones that they donate, I mean, it's so great because the essential oils, they help people who are dealing with chemotherapy and all the side effects. Like, it's just so cool what they're doing. So you put the essential oils inside the bracelet. You can choose not only which bracelet you want. They have ones that say things like breathe, grateful, fuck it. And then you can also choose what scent you want for the essential oils. We all got different ones. We all got different sayings. They're seriously so beautiful. It's a really great, meaningful holiday gift. Like, because they're not just cute. They're like...
They have a story.
They have a story.
And they're doing something good for people. And you can just buy a batch of them and pass them out to your family and stuff and your friends.
Make it rain essential oils on Christmas.
Hell yeah.
They're doing so well that... This is so cool. They're doing so well that they have, like, just higher demand, and they've been able to lower their prices for all their customers. So they're even cheaper now. No excuses not to get a bracelet and a necklace. And our listeners, you guys ready for this? You receive 10% off with the code SELF-HELPLESS, and that's valid for the rest of the year. So go to ventedinbrooklyn.com and at Vented in Brooklyn on Facebook and Instagram, and check them out, you guys. You won't be sorry.
Do it. Support them.
They're great.
We love you.
All right. Do you have a great quote? Because today we're talking about technology.
Yes.
And our relationship with technology and having better balance in your life.
Yes.
Despite having tiny computers in your phone. Or in your pocket, I mean.
Connected to your person at all times. And this topic was the Patreon winner this month. So you guys voted on it. There was 3 to choose from. And this technology was the winner. So this is the quote I found that is, helpful for today's topic. It says, "Be better in real life than on social media." Very simple, true, to the point. And that was, I found this on an Instagram account called English Sayings.
Which is so much harder than... That's deceptively simple, isn't it? Because I think most of us would look at our social media and go, they seem pretty happy.
Yeah. I think people put a lot more effort into how they look to the world than what they're actually doing day to day. Well, a lot of people, because of the social media stuff that we have now.
Right. Yeah. And it's a highlight reel. Everybody says that.
And sometimes the things that make you feel good on a day-to-day are not very, cool looking on Instagram.
Yeah. No. But sitting by yourself in a corner, like eating a cookie.
Totally. I've been living my best life the last week, but it's very mellow and chill and not flashy or fun. It's just, but I don't know. Sometimes you need that. You just need to chill.
Exactly. Yeah. The pictures that look really good, I'm usually anxious and uncomfortable and ready to go home in those pictures. Where it's I look all dolled up in heels and I'm like, I don't want to be here. Well, let's at least get a picture dressed up,
Yeah.
But when you're thoroughly enjoying yourself, you really don't usually think to take a photo of it.
Good point.
Yeah, you're so relaxed and happy. You don't think,
moment.
I'm going to snap this picture of me just enjoying my time on my couch next to my loved one.
Good point, man. Good point.
That's so true.
I don't know. Yeah. Do you guys have some segments?
Yeah,
definitely.
I have a segment. I've got a good shit this week.
Oh my God!
Awesome.
I typically do not have a good shit.
Yeah,
share your good shit with us.
Good shits, not to be confused with good shits, which I've not been having.
Your shits are infrequent.
They're real bad right now, you guys.
They little rabbit turds.
They do. Yeah,
pellets.
They've gotten better. It's only started getting better in the last 24 hours. But since I got over the stomach flu, my bowels have just been all weird, and I never have issues with constipation, and it's probably in part because I've just been traveling nonstop since I got over the flu. But yeah, just those hard
the worst.
balls. And
Yeah.
it's like, I've been doing everything in my power the last week to not have that happen, and only in the last couple days have I felt like it's finally started working. But I was taking like double dose probiotics and just like a gallon of water every day.
Yeah.
And
Some brisk walks.
some very brisk walks.
Jingle jangle that all out of you.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
stretching.
a
Yeah, some
nightmare. There were a
jumping
couple
jacks.
days that I was like so bloated for no reason. I think just once you have the stomach flu, I don't know if you've had this.
Totally.
Over
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, where your body's just like, where did all these things go?
Yeah. How do I make poop again?
Yeah, exactly. But my good shit was I got to go on the second leg of the Conan tour. Conan and Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Hell
sick
yes.
for the first one, so I didn't enjoy it like I wish I could have. And it was such a bummer. And then this time around, everybody was like, "You're like a different person. Like you've really come out of your shell." I'm like, "No, I'm just not sick anymore."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but like, it's nice to meet you. But yeah, it was so cool. It was so like the shows were great. I know a few people came to those because I heard from you on social media, which is so cool.
That's
and
so nice.
yeah, just like Conan is like every bit as nice as you want him to be.
That's
like,
so good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm so happy about that.
isn't that great?
Yeah.
Like just when you see people like, oh, you've been successful for so long, and you 100% deserve every second of
Yeah.
it, and you've not let it like make you lose touch with humanity or anything.
Yeah.
Because we just meet so many shitty people in the business. If you saw on Facebook, he bought me an American Girl doll. It's been
What a
a dream.
so
what a
cool.
fucking he is so hot.
Merry Christmas to you,
He's
man.
Oh,
so hot.
Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't get it.
I don't
before.
know how you stand next to him and not just freaking light up. You know,
Jump the bone. Yeah.
He was paying me, so I didn't want to jeopardize the chat.
Yeah, reverse me too.
Yeah, exactly.
You harass Conan.
You also. Yeah. Yeah, no, at one point we all.
You also. Sorry, that's so funny. I just got that. Sorry, that's really fucking funny.
That might be insensitive. We'll try it out. But yeah, at one point he like pulled me aside and was just like, hey, like you really, I don't know if he knew I needed to hear this or something, but he was just like, just so you know, like I'm not doing you a favor by having you on this tour. Like you're amazing. Like you're doing at 25 what I couldn't have done at 35. Like it's incredible to be able to watch you like perform for these crowds, and like they love you, and like I'm not doing you a favor, you know, I want to help you, and like all these. I was just like,
oh gosh,
he's like, yeah, you need to give yourself a break, and you're like, seriously, you're killing it. I was like, oh,
what a wonderful
That is so
person.
nice.
please don't make me cry.
Oh
And
my
this fish
God.
Why don't
restaurant.
more people just like do things like that and
I
say
know.
those nice things? Because it's like
know.
those people in power, it means so much.
Yeah.
You know, you'll remember that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the same time, Kelsey, you texted me something really nice, and we're just like, hey, it's really cool that you're on tour with Conan. And I was like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh,
it is cool.
of
You're like,
course.
you need people
It is unbelievable.
that you look
Of
up to give
course.
that to you, but also you need like your friends to just help you remember sometimes
Yeah.
that you're very
Yeah.
fortunate, and what you're doing is cool, and you should appreciate things and be grateful. And
Yeah.
so I thought
tour
all
with
those were good.
Conan fucking O'Brien,
I know. It's
who
nuts.
we all just grew up watching and loving, and
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
insane.
it's weird. It's weird to hear you talk about it because I think I'm still in shock that that's a real thing
Right.
that's happening for you, and you're out there doing that. Because I'm just like, yeah, well, of course, like you guys are doing amazing things all over. Of course, this would be happening. But it's like, yeah,
Right.
that's freaking Conan.
Oh yeah.
It's
Well-
so cool.
Well, and he would host the shows essentially. He does like 30 up top and 30 at the end of Q&A, and you know, introducing each of us, and he's saying just such nice things about each of us. And so to just like be standing on the side of the stage, like remembering back to, you know, when I was 5 years ago, wanting so badly to get on the show, not knowing how, not getting booked by the booker even though he saw me live, like
Yeah.
just not being ready, and then cut to like Conan
man.
O'Brien in front of 2,500 people going like, one of my favorite comics working, really crushed on our show, you're gonna love her. I was just like, what is
my God.
happening right
that's so
now? So it was
cool.
really cool and nice to be present for that instead
Yeah.
of like choking back vomit.
yeah.
That was great. So that's my good
That's
shit.
amazing.
Dude,
that's the best shit.
incredible.
That's not even good shit. That's the best shit.
That is, yeah, that's a new category.
Oh,
Best shit.
Best shit. Yeah.
And I gotta say, some of you saw the Conan dick mug, and that was
Yes.
all because of Taylor. Taylor was like, "Dude, Delaney, you should make Conan a dick
Yeah.
mug, and then I'll give it to him, and maybe if he likes it, we can maybe get a picture, or whatever, right? Like, cool."
Oh, and he was so cool.
Who knows,
about it,
right?
yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, why not? What's the worst thing that can happen?" He could be like, "This is fucking weird and creepy, and we never talk about it again." And then Taylor,
We do
would
not
text
speak
it-
of this.
Yeah. Taylor texted me video, and there's some photos and like all that stuff, and she carried this mug around with her for like 2 days, waiting for the most perfect moment to give it to him. And I cannot tell you how much that meant to me. Like, you're a fucking great friend.
Oh my
Like,
god,
that is
you're
so
a fucking great friend.
so sweet and generous, and not a lot of people would think to even do. I wouldn't think to do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's.
I felt terrible. I didn't think about it sooner.
No, that is just, it's so sweet. And like, it just, I've told you how much it means to me, just because when I left stand up, I really felt like I was kind of leaving the comedy world and the
Yeah.
comedy community in a lot of ways. And like, you know, it still makes me feel like I'm kind of part of it, you know, like I'm kind of there still.
Yeah.
And like, I'm able to kind of, you know, make people laugh in a different way, you know? So,
Well, and I get to brag about you to Conan, where he's just like, "So how, she does this full time?" I was like, "Yep,
Yeah, she
It
does.
started off. I told him the whole origin story. I was like, she made it as a joke for a white elephant exchange, and then I explained what that was to James because he's British, and I was like, yeah, and she just, you know, she just can't help but be successful at whatever she does. So now she does that full time. You know, she's just great. He's like, "Oh, how did you meet her?" I was like, "Through stand up. She was great at that too." But she's doing this. Like, she's just, yeah.
so
sweet,
cool.
dude. But yeah, that really meant a lot to me. So that was like going off your good shit. That was some good shit.
I mean, it's
me
just
that
so dope having like cool, talented friends. Like
Aw.
being able to like, yeah, like being able to like give Conan O'Brien something you made, or like easily having people like Kelsey to say like, "You should have Kelsey headline." Like when people ask me for female comics to
Yeah.
headline, like it's like, "Oh, well, I know the perfect person, and I
Aw.
don't need to tell you anymore."
Thanks,
Yeah.
Bill.
Like, because it's so hard to find people that are doing, you know, following their dreams like you are, and like you're fans of.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you do like Risks of Fury or whatever else, or when you do the Tonight Show, and you're like, "Thanks so much for like promoting it, you guys." I was like, what the fuck else were we gonna do? Like, it's
No, it's not a typical thing my friends have ever done for me.
really.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's, for me, this is how I feel about it. It's such a relief to have friends, because, you know, you have friends sometimes where you're like, "I love you, but I wouldn't necessarily like recommend everything you do to
Sure,
people."
yeah,
Like in this
yeah.
industry, I feel like there are people I like, but I wouldn't necessarily like book.
Right, I got
know?
you.
Or
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like, "Oh, can you open," or whatever. And so to have friends that I'm just like,
Not a second
"Look
thought.
at this shit. They want to be friends. They're friends with me." Like, how cool
That's
is
so
that? Like,
nice.
it's
You're precious.
such a cool thing, and I really am very appreciative about that with you guys.
Well, I've told you guys how much that means to me, because that just, I don't know, with like my friends from home, that's the thing that I've kind of just come to be like, well, they just don't do that. Like they don't, when I'm doing something cool or if I'm trying to promote something, they just don't share it. Like there have been a couple times where I've like asked a couple of friends specifically, like, "Hey, my album just came out. Can you like share the link on your Facebook or anywhere you feel comfortable?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, of course."
Yeah.
So sometimes they just like aren't thinking about
Yeah,
it.
they might just-
And yeah, it's, I don't know. It's a thing that I've had to learn to just kind of like not really expect and just like love them for, I don't know what our
Yeah.
friendship is. But I really, truly, it means so much to me when you guys go out of your way to share the things I do. It's so
bragging.
nice. Well, it's so nice.
Look at this cool
I
chick.
just-
We're friends with her.
I just want you to know that's not like an expected
Oh,
thing
no, we
or
don't. I
whatever,
don't
like a given. It's really nice that you guys do that and go like the
yeah.
extra mile. It's really,
Yeah,
really
and I
sweet.
think if other friends don't, it's probably like, because in this industry,
Yes.
we're so ultra aware of like sharing people's content is so helpful for them in their career, or whatever, more views and stuff. And then a lot of people just don't use social media the way that we do, because for us it's like part of the job. And
Yeah.
for them it's all fun, and maybe they'll look at it twice in the month, you know,
Right,
and don't even think
exactly.
about it.
Yeah. I have to fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Taylor was talking about that she had stomach flu. How long ago did you have it now? 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Okay, so I flew home to Spokane for Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day. And as I was getting on the second leg of flights, there was a family standing at the gate with a little girl who looked like she was maybe 5, just openly vomiting into a garbage bag.
Oh, lovely.
And, you see that and you're like, okay, not the person I want to share recycled air with for the next 2 hours, but this is happening. And she wasn't even sitting that close to me on the plane. Didn't really think about it again. I go to Spokane, have Thanksgiving dinner, all next day, feel normal. And then as I was going to bed Friday night, so like a little over 24 hours later, something started to feel a little weird. And I woke up and immediately went to the bathroom, started throwing up, turned around, had the worst diarrhea of my life.
Oh,
just like liquid. It's just full, liquid.
Yeah.
And then stood up to throw up more, and everything went like white. Like all color was gone from my vision, and I had to grab onto the sink and like lower myself onto the ground because I thought I was gonna pass out.
Oh, geez.
Like just the intense like nausea, pain just took over. I was like covered in sweat. It was horrible. And so I had the stomach flu for like 48 hours at least, maybe 72 hours. And then everybody in my family got it. The entire household got it. Kane got it. And so my defuck is for the family who brought their sick kid on the plane for so many reasons. Why would you put your sweet little 5-year-old daughter through holiday travel while she's throwing up?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to judge them too harshly because maybe it like just started happening and they're like, well, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
But if this is something that you had any sort of, a heads up on, if she had been sick for a day, you don't put them on a plane.
Cancel the trip.
It's so selfish.
Yeah.
It's so selfish because I'm sure that almost everybody on that flight got sick, and then they go to their families for Thanksgiving. They get everybody else sick, and it's just such a domino effect that can be avoided if you just like aren't a like selfish asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that little like, well, it's Thanksgiving, so I want to have it with my family. It's like, okay, good for you. That's nice. So does everybody, but like kind of fuck you a little bit,
Right.
because
Yeah.
you just got everybody sick. So
Yeah.
that was a really shit way to spend my Thanksgiving vacation. I flew all the way home to like have that time there with Kane and my family, but also because my best friends from home were all going to be in the same place at once, which is
man.
like, I mean, you guys know I've talked about on the podcast before. I will go out of my way. I make the fucking effort to see my best friends from home when we're all in the same place because it's only like a handful of times every year.
Yeah.
And we had all these plans. We were going to like go to Kane's show together and go out dancing afterward, all these fun things. And the stomach flu hit on that day that I was going to do all that with them. And I had to cancel all of it. And I basically flew to Spokane to just like sit in my own waste. And
sucks.
yeah, and then we had to fly back while we were still sick.
Oh my
Because changing the flights would have been $500. So
jeez.
flying when you are completely like dehydrated and haven't had more than like 2 crackers in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, it was brutal.
Oh, I can't imagine having had to. Well, I guess I did do that. I put off the first leg of the Conan tour because I was sick.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, so I just I texted you guys like, is it worth spending a bunch of money to change my flight? Which I'm so glad I did because I felt horrible. And then like Thursday morning, I got up at 5 a.m. I was like, oh, I feel okay. And then like got there, ate an omelet, and then like that night I was just like, oh, and I felt it was the worst of it was like Thursday night, Friday and Saturday, which is why I was like, if you guys can push it off.
Yeah, 'cause it keeps going.
Because it keeps going. Like I had started feeling sick like Sunday night.
Yeah.
And so like those first 3 days I was at home, so I was just like resting and I'm like, okay, maybe it'll be fine. And so the minute I felt better and was like, oh, I'm just gonna eat something, it like really hit me. And even being on like the private jet and just like having to fly for 3 hours was like because Friday I just didn't eat anything all day. Because I was like, I'm not like, we flew to Houston, went straight to the venue, did the show where I'm like sharing a bathroom in the green room with all the comedians, and then like went back to the plane, flew to Austin, and I was like, I'm just not gonna eat today because
Yeah.
I can't risk it.
When you had told me that you did that, this was before I got the stomach flu, and I was like, oh my God, you got to eat something. That's crazy. And then once you get it, you're like, oh no, you just don't.
Yeah.
You just can't, because you can't keep anything down, and it's horrible. And so if you have a sick kid, don't put him on a fucking plane, because it was the worst.
Yeah.
But I did lose some weight. So. I mean, I guess it was okay. I guess it's worth it.
Cam, well, I have a kind of a defuck from my Thanksgiving night. Cam and I ended up in the emergency room towards the end of the night. He's fine and everything, but he had been having some chest pain for like 6 days.
Oh
And
my
so,
God. I didn't.
yeah.
Why didn't you tell us this?
Yeah,
It ended up being fine. Did I not tell you?
No.
I'm so bad at it, you guys. I think you know by now that I just like don't offer up information.
You don't.
I'm the worst. Well, everything's fine. So he had just been having like some just like pain or tightness in his chest, and he's like, yeah, it's probably fine. Let's just whatever. And then it had been like 6 days, and at Thanksgiving we were just hanging out with my family. I'm like, why don't we just go to the emergency room? Let's just rule out all this serious shit and just figure out what the hell's going on here. And so he was there for a few hours, and basically he got diagnosed with, it's called like costochondritis or something. It's like inflammation of the sternum, like all the basically.
That's horrible.
Yeah, he basically has chronic inflammation of all the the tissues and shit that connect it.
Oh,
right
God.
here, and it's just something that they don't know what the cause is. There's no treatment for it, and it might flare up every once in a while. It's the first time he's really had it, but so he basically has to live a healthier lifestyle if he wants to manage it. So he's got to try to eat like a more anti-inflammatory diet and exercise more and all that stuff. But the more research I did on this, because I've never even heard of that. And it's a lot. It's like the most common reason for chest pain. So if you do have that, definitely check it out, read up on it. But yeah, the more research I did, basically a lot of it can be due to just complete inactivity, which good old Cam is very known for.
Oh yeah,
So
Nook life.
I'm like, yeah, your Nook life might be going too hard. You might be going too hard one way, and you need to kind of balance your shit out. But yeah, it's not good for you to just lay flat on your back for 15 hours a day. That's just not going to be good for you. So I think it freaked him out enough to start like maybe implementing a little bit of a workout routine a few times a week at our little gym, and I tried to kind of get some healthy food in his system right away and all that, and he's feeling a lot better. But yeah, he basically just found out he's like has this thing.
Wow.
Weird.
Oh, sorry, Cam.
Very weird. But yeah, but everything was fine. It ruled out all the big stuff, and he just got to stop chilling so hard, I think. Is like he chilled too hard. And then he bought me a nice new blender, just a just because gift. Just a nice, like, big old ninja blender with all kinds of different settings, with like ice cream and smoothie settings and freaking icy and all this stuff.
That's so nice.
I just
Good
love
man
it.
button.
Good man button. So that was.
Job.
That's all the updates.
Good job,
really.
Cam. That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
get
So
into
we're
the
good.
meat here?
Let's get into the meat.
Let's get into the meat.
Let's get into the
do
meat.
it.
So we've done some research. We're talking about technology and how to have a healthy relationship with technology. I think we'll probably deep dive into more social media and devices like that.
Yeah.
But we found a few different things online, and basically the average American spends up to or at least half their day on some kind of media.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were finding all kinds of, everything says a different statistic. I mean, there are some that said, 2 hours on social media specifically.
Right.
Then I found a few that were like 9 hours. One said 11 at this point, up from 9 on just like staring at screens.
Oh, screens. Yeah, that's
what
a whole
because
other
social
thing.
media specifically, I could understand how that's like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Screen
that's
time.
not accounting for
time.
like Netflix and YouTube and like all that stuff.
Working at the office,
Working
staring
at
at your
the
computer all
office.
day.
Oh yeah. The screen shit's really crazy.
Yeah.
What was the stat that you read? Something about somebody will spend 5 years of their life.
Oh yeah.
Where'd
This
you
I found on
find that?
entrepreneur.com. It says the average person spends more than 5 years of your life on social media.
That is so gross.
Yeah.
That really shook me when you said that.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of that.
God, that is upsetting.
That's really
Isn't that
upsetting.
sad?
I feel like
years you're losing.
That is upsetting.
you know what we should all do? We should screenshot that and make that our screensaver on our phone.
That's so smart.
That's really smart.
Because you gonna get off when you see that. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, no, I shouldn't see this right now. I shouldn't be on here.
Man, that's really gonna stick with me. When things are broken down like that, that's what I remember.
Yeah,
all
that's
this other
concrete.
statistics, like 50% of these people in this, that'll sit with me for a few minutes and then goes right out the window. But shit like that, like you're losing years on your life.
Yeah, when they pull my mortality into it,
Exactly.
I'll change anything.
Exactly.
Unless it's sugar or something. Because let's be real.
Yeah. Like, look, I was listening to a
Bitch needs a cookie.
podcast. I was listening to a podcast recently, and they were interviewing somebody, and he said something about like breaking it down, like if your grandparents live for 3 more years and you only see them once a year, you're going to see them 3 more times.
Yeah.
That really puts it
my
in perspective.
God.
What podcast was that?
Oh God, I think it was the Rich Roll podcast.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember the person's name that he was talking to. And I would
I
like to
don't
give him
like
credit, but I
that.
always forget I'm a bad
think about that
podcast
all the
jumper.
time.
But I'm like, when you put that into perspective like that, that really makes me want to do shit differently. Because it's true.
Yeah.
You might be like, oh, I have a few more years left with them. But no, you break it down into visits. You're seeing your family once or twice a year, maybe.
Yeah.
It gets down to that small of numbers.
Yeah.
I think about that with my friends from home too, where it's like,
It's
that's why I
scary.
really make that effort, because like life goes fast. And if you can only see them a couple times a year, it's not very much.
Yeah. So, that 5-year thing's gonna stick
Yeah,
with
that's
you
a
for
lot.
sure. How long do you guys think that you spend on social media or screens per day? Is there an
Well,
app that tracks it or something?
There are apps, but Kelsey was saying she updated her iPhone.
Yeah, so I had downloaded an app and I can't remember what it's called, but if you have an iPhone and you do the most recent update, there's a feature under settings called screen time, and it will tell you how much time you've spent on your phone, and it's with like, it tells you social media, it tells you reading and reference, so it can it can like discern between when you're on Instagram and if you're like looking at something on Wikipedia, and then productivity, which is interesting. I haven't done
like
that much.
respond into emails or something?
Yeah, I think so. It tells you how many like notifications you get. It tells you how many times you pick up your phone
Wow.
per hour.
Oh man.
How many times do you pick up your phone per hour?
Total pickups. It says 28 today.
Oh, per
Picked up my
hour?
phone 28 20 times total today. I've picked up my
pretty
phone
good.
28 times. Yeah, it's really, really interesting. So, and it can tell you like 7% down from last week. You can see your most used, gross. Most used social media and apps. So my Instagram is my most used. In the last week, I've spent 8 hours and 16 minutes on Instagram.
Wow. Is that scrolling, posting all the things? It's all one lump sum?
Whenever it's open.
I think whenever it's open. Wow. In the last week, I've picked up my phone 77 times per day.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Wow.
But I guess over the course of a day, I don't know, but
yeah, but if you break that down by hours,
that you're awake.
I'd love to treat my phone like just like a home phone that
Yeah.
you just use for like communication.
Yeah.
I've been doing something that's really helped me, and I don't look at my phone until after I've had breakfast and journaled.
yeah,
Because I've been doing it for like the last week now. I feel so much better, but it used to just be like I would open my eyes and go right to my phone. And I think a trap that a lot of like our generation gets into is that we use our phone for the alarm. And then as soon as you turn the alarm off, you're looking at notifications,
Right.
which leads down to a rabbit hole, all that shit. So I've actually started using like my alarm clock again for setting an alarm.
Smart.
And I get up, I have like thoughts. I have real thoughts that I, process. I journal, I eat food. And so it's probably about a half hour, 45 minutes that passes before I actually look at my phone.
Yeah.
And I just think that gives me such a better like mental health buffer
Yes.
going into whatever I'm about to see on the phone.
Yeah,
that's so ideal.
It's not good to be immediately stimulated by all of that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just not good. You're already in just like overstimulation work mode immediately, and you haven't been awake for a second. I'm really bad about that. I still look at my phone in the morning. Unfortunately, it wakes me up.
I know,
Sometimes
me
I feel
too.
like I can't get out of bed, but what I'll do, I'll let it wake me up by just kind of monitoring what I'm looking at. I'll try to look at like nice motivational quotes or something like that, where I'm not looking at work emails or anything like that. And then once I feel like, okay, I'm pretty awake, I'll put my phone aside and then I'll do like my little morning routine.
Yeah.
Whether it's like stretching, or if this is when I'm working from home, stretching, eating, all that kind of stuff. And then I'll get into some work and then I'll look at it a little bit later.
Yeah. Because I'm like you, where Delaney, you've said that if you see a text message or an email, it's almost impossible for you to not immediately respond to it and get going on the day. And so that's why I just cannot let myself look at it for the first. I
Smart.
challenge you guys. I challenge our listeners to try it for at least a week and see how it changes you, because I already feel a difference. I think it sets the tone for your whole day.
Oh yeah.
And it sets the tone of like not wanting to be on my phone as much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to be doing. That is the goal, is like I'm not going to look at my phone for even like at least an hour. Like I want like that whole hour waking up to myself to work out, eat breakfast, get some work things set up before I really dive into it, and then I can check all the things that I need to for work. But
Yeah. I need to at least, if nothing else, a good compromise, because sometimes I'm in hotels that don't have alarm clocks. Is just putting your phone on airplane mode and then setting your alarm so that when you wake up, you turn off the alarm, but you don't have any notifications looking at you. You haven't gotten any
interesting.
texts. Like, yeah, it's your phone, but there's nothing there coming at you. Require this attention. Didn't you say the new screen time feature on your iPhone, like you can set timers where it'll close you out of the app?
Yes. Oh, that's another huge thing. So app limits, you can set time limits for each app, and I think it'll just flat out close you out.
that's cool.
Yeah. There's content and privacy restrictions on this as well. So I think... that's not what I thought it was. I thought it was gonna. Oh yeah, it is. Because there's certain times where I'm like, oh, I wish that it wouldn't have let me look at this thing. I think Twitter's trying to do that more, where it's like the following contains sensitive material, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna look at it. I would have if it hadn't told me, hey, because it's like I need somebody to check me and be like, no, you don't want to look at this. It's gonna upset you. You don't need to look at this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's helpful.
I've modified all my notification settings recently, where like I'll only receive little notifications if it's like somebody's direct messaged me or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
get all those likes and stuff anymore. I don't get all those comments and stuff anymore. It's just like messages or like some kind of like important alerts or whatever. And I find that's really helpful. I don't have it set to anything that makes noise or even vibrates. It's just like a silent thing now. I'm like, don't know.
Yeah.
I control when I look at it. So when I go in and I see it all at once, that's great, but I'm not getting that every second type of stuff. I found that very helpful.
I only get emails and texts. I turned off everything else because it's like
same.
especially like posting an Instagram photo and then getting a notification every time someone likes it. I can't believe I ever lived that way.
Same. I think for a while I just liked the rush of like, oh, you just feel like a constant blizzard of like, you know, a little flurry of love. But yeah, you get to where you're like, this is not healthy. I can't like look away from my phone.
Yeah.
It's just like lighting up every 2 seconds. You know,
yeah. It's almost just like, it's just controlling how you use your phone and like setting boundaries and time and stuff. I took the only email that I have on my phone is my personal Delaney Fisher account. I don't have Self-Helpless email on there. I don't have Dicks by Delaney email on there. So because I have set times either daily or weekly that I look at that stuff. So every Monday is when I look at the Self-Helpless emails. And then every morning from like 9 to 10, I'll respond to my Dicks by Delaney emails, and then I'll work for a few hours on other stuff, and then I'll respond to things one more time. So I'm only checking my Dicks by Delaney emails twice a day, in like 9 a.m. and like 2 p.m.
I like that.
And then that's done. So yeah, I feel like that's been super helpful, because then it takes away the whole, oh my God, I got to respond right now.
Yes.
I will not even look at it until I'm there ready to respond, and I'm able to.
Yeah.
That was a lifesaver, just setting that boundary for myself.
Yeah.
I so envy people who are not in any sort of like entrepreneurial, like entertainment, nothing that requires social media.
Yeah.
I mean, you are living the life, because I have friends, you know, like my best friend's in law school right now, and she like deleted her Instagram and her Twitter and like barely goes on Facebook. She's like, I feel great.
Yeah.
And we just can't do that with our jobs.
Yeah.
It's just not.
It's tough.
it's not a thing, so you have to put restrictions on it. But I just fantasize about not having to worry about it, because when I'm not looking at social media enough or I'm not posting enough, that makes me feel guilty and like I'm not working hard enough in a way.
It's such a machine. It really
Yeah.
sucks. I
It
hate that
sucks.
feeling.
You can
So
you can
bad.
go off of it when you're like big enough, right?
Yes.
Like once you kind of have made
Right.
it, then you see all these people go off of it
Yes.
because they're
Yeah.
no longer, they've either made the name for themselves or they're making a certain amount of money where they no longer feel like they're missing out on like those,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So that's, maybe
Yeah.
it's just temporarily that you have to really be on it, but
Yeah, I have been drowning in social media lately, which like I've been doing a better job of it, I think, but it takes up so much energy to be constantly thinking of posts if you're going to post every day.
Yeah.
Cuz like I'm thinking of posts for Self-Helpless, I'm thinking of posts for us,
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
for our fan page, my fan page, like all these different things, and it's just like it takes so much work. And my team, like my managers, were like, you should hire this social media company. I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast.
I don't know if you have.
Maybe I haven't, but they told me to hire this social media marketing company for 2 months to see, which I'm like, I can't believe I'm paying people to work on my social media. But I was like, maybe they'll take it off my plate and I won't have to worry about it. And then it'll be worth the money to me because I have to do this thing. And it has not taken it off my plate. They've done a couple things that I'm like, that was good. But for the most part, it's just them sending me reminders of like, hey, today could you take a bunch of photos backstage with Conan and maybe get a video of you talking about your tips for dealing with Thanksgiving and stuff. And I'm like, I think of these things too. They
Right.
just ruin my life if I do them.
Right.
Like,
Right.
what are you talking? These are not helpful. Like, you put something together. You,
Right.
you
Yeah.
look. I have a bunch of photos. I sent them to you. You do it.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know. I just the dream is to when you see famous people's Instagrams and you can tell you're like you
didn't post this.
do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's just like them and like whoever they're rumored to be dating, and it just says like, "Who else loves Fridays?" And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is a stranger.
Yeah.
This isn't Selena Gomez."
Yes, this is
yeah.
an assistant.
I like to think social media is so fantastic. It's so great that you can connect with people from all around the world. Like there's so much great stuff about social media and technology and all that. It's just when it overtakes you, when it takes over your life, that's when it's the problem. When you're
Yeah.
getting depressed because of it, that's when it's the problem.
Yeah.
And it's just really setting rules for yourself and sticking to those rules.
Yes.
Yeah, I hate how like whoever set that kind of regimen that you should be posting once a day. I just wish it was like that everybody posted once a week, because
Yes.
I have FOMO if I don't keep up with once a day. But I just wish that like everybody collectively were like, okay, we're all just gonna only post once a week.
Right.
Yes.
You know, like wouldn't
Yeah.
that just feel so much more mentally healthy if you just
Yeah.
picked one picture? You're like,
This is it.
for the week.
This is it.
I
Oh,
feel
I
good
tried
about this.
to. I tried to grayscale my phone yesterday.
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
heard of that?
What's that?
There's a setting where there's a color setting on your phone where it just turns everything like gray or black and white, and it's supposed to be less enticing, and like all the colors on your phone make it more addictive and fun and like fun to click on shit. Apparently, they've done studies, but unfortunately, I would love to do that, but then I do post daily for like Dick's by Delaney, and like it's part of my job that I have to kind of look
Yeah.
at the color of things before I post it and
Totally.
stuff. But I would love if anybody knows of a way where you can make everything else like grayscale and just keep like the Instagram colorful. That would be super
Yeah.
helpful because I would
Yeah.
do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make my phone the old frontier.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's like it was like wow. It looked very different.
Pioneer
it was
days.
freaky looking.
Wow.
But
That's
yeah.
so interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
even know about that.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Tried it, and then I was bummed because then I had to post something and for Dick stuff, and I'm like, I need this to be colorful for everybody involved.
Yeah.
So
I talked to Kyle and I were talking the other night about trying to do like we talked about like doing like no car days where like. Which sounds stupid. Some people are like, it's not that hard to not be in
That's
a
every day
car
for
for a
me.
day. Yeah, or like just the weekend. I'm like, all right, well, a lot of my days I am moving.
Yeah.
But I was like, what if we just had like no phone days every once in a while? We just don't look at our phones like the whole day.
Yeah.
And then I was like, can I even do that?
It's so
Which
hard.
you can, but everything's on your phone. Everything.
You know, you should start trying. You might already do this, but Kane and I, if like we run an errand, sometimes we're like, you're gonna leave your phone here, I'm gonna leave my phone here, and we both just leave our phone if we go to like Target or whatever. And I know that seems small, but just even not having it on your person for like 2 hours, makes a huge difference.
Yeah, you're not like tempted to look at it. You don't even have the option.
I don't know how to get anywhere without my phone.
Cam and I will like either if we go for a walk or if we go somewhere, I will say who's bringing their phone just for emergencies, and we're not looking at it otherwise. You know, like we have it on us, but like it's in the purse, it's in the pocket, it's not out.
Yes.
And it just, you're so present. You're forced to be present.
Yeah.
And it feels really good.
Yeah.
I've also heard about like people trying kind of to set the tone and almost like immediately with somebody. Like if somebody texts you at 10 p.m. and you respond, they're going to think that they can always text you at 10 p.m. and they're going to get a response out of you. If you don't respond until the next morning at 10 a.m. and that's kind of, you're setting the precedent and you just keep doing that, they know why should I text Kelsey right now? She's not going to respond to tomorrow. I'll just wait. I'll hold off till tomorrow morning. Stuff like that, where you can kind of, you can, not ignore people, but just not respond, or have your phone in the other room and just set times. This is the only time of day where I respond to these text messages or these emails or whatever it is. I'm like, that's a good idea too. It's like, if you don't kind of give somebody the, I don't know, not the permission, but if you don't like validate what they just did, they're probably going to stop doing it.
Yeah,
right.
People react to how accessible you decide you are. You're right. That's why I don't respond to texts sometimes for months.
Yeah,
and I just go, oh hey, by the way, sorry, I thought I responded to this. No, I didn't. I know I didn't. I just felt guilty.
But like, if a lot of people try to do like no phones on the weekends or something, I hear that's helpful. It's like, look, from Friday to Sunday, you're just not going to hear from me. And if people figure out, oh, you can't, we're not going to call this person, they're not going to answer, we'll talk to them on Monday or whatever. I don't know, something to think about.
I thought about doing that with like Mondays, because those are kind of my weekend, but sometimes I'm flying back. But if I've been trying to keep at least Mondays with no shows. I do have a show tomorrow, but usually I don't have a show Monday, and I'm like, I could probably check out on Mondays.
Right. And
nice.
If something's really important, somebody will call you, right?
But if your phone's off.
No, I mean, like, let's say that you turn the text messages off and maybe it's on vibrate just for phone calls or something.
Oh, okay.
Right? And it's like, look, if something really important is happening, they know how to reach me and they can give me a call. But I'm not responding to any text messages today. That can wait. Stuff like that, where it's like, look, for emergency, I'm available.
Yeah.
But other than that.
See, this is why it's hard that nobody has a house phone anymore. Because house phones were like for emergencies.
Exactly.
For a while, you're like, oh, people only call there if they can't reach us on our cell. And now it's like, if you don't reach me on my cell, you cannot.
You may not. I don't think they would ever do it, but I wish that there was some sort of setting on the phone that you could make it so it's like your social media is just off for the day. Like you do not have access to it, and your phone is only to be used as like a home phone. Like you can only use it to call or text, but you can't get into social media.
I wish you could hook up your phone number to 2 different phones, and one of them is a flip phone.
Oh God, I want a flip phone.
You could probably forward your calls somewhere else.
You're right. I bet you could.
I
fantasize about having a flip phone all the time. All them
do that
playing
are
Snake.
heroes.
Oh God, I miss Snake. I was good at Snake, man.
That's some good shit.
Yeah, I know Ari Shafir has a flip phone. Like last I
really?
checked. Yeah. He's like, that dude is off the fucking grid. And it's enviable.
Yeah, whatever helps you. I am as far as social media goes, I pretty much post. I post and I don't really scroll or look at stuff anymore.
Really?
Like maybe a few things.
You don't like as much of my.
I know, right? It's sad. I'm not on there, right?
I didn't notice.
If I'm on there, it's because I'm posting for Dicks by Delaney, and then I'm leaving.
Yeah, Delaney's dead to me on social media.
Kelsey
She's not even.
comments on everything.
I know.
Kelsey's really
I'm
good
a
about
very supportive social media
You
friend.
really
You
are. And
very supportive.
I don't look at people's stories. I forget that stories is a thing because I don't do them.
Oh, really?
So I don't look at and if I am on there and I see a story, it's like, I'll look at your guys', then I'll just turn off my phone. They'll be done.
I try not to look at too many stories ever now. Because it's like that became Instagram 2.0. That became like it's a whole other level now of shit to go down the rabbit hole, and I just can't. I already I scroll too much already.
Yeah.
I can't look at stories.
To be reading when I'm traveling, it's just hard because I'm like motion sick.
Do you want to borrow a book? I have so many good books
I
right now.
have so many books that I'm halfway through. I'm still reading that one about mortality, where I'm just like, oh my gosh.
But you
And,
need like a thriller.
God, I know. I remember like the last book I really cooked through was Gone Girl.
Yeah, dude. Let me take you to my fucking library over here, man.
What was the one you said was like Gone Girl?
Oh, The Woman in the Window. It will fucking blow your brain inside out.
scary?
It's so good. It's not like you're going to be afraid to sleep at night. It's just like, it's such a good thriller. And like The Couple Next Door, Into the Water, Girl on the Train. Oh my God.
Maybe
they're so
need to try
good.
one of those to like get me back in, like exercise the muscle.
Yeah. I'm
Like,
telling
you
you.
don't run a marathon the first day, and that's what this book of mortality is. Like, it's great every time I read it. I'm just like, oh, this is amazing. But it's like I can't handle more than like a chapter.
No, you need some sugary.
Yeah, I need
Something like that just grabs you, kicks you in the dick. Just, it's so good. These books are so good.
Well,
Yeah.
and Kyle got me a Kindle for my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So I have no excuse now when
Oh,
I'm
no.
traveling. But my default, when I think a lot of people are like this in waiting rooms, at the
Yeah.
doctor's office,
whip
in
it out.
line at the grocery store, we're just like,
Phone.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to sit here and wait. I'm going to look at Instagram.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
God
Then I-
forbid I have a thought.
Yeah.
You know? Oh.
I know. I feel so bad though, because I know like you guys are always posting cool, fun shit that you're up to or doing, and I know that I'm like, no, I'm missing what you guys doing,
No.
and I feel bad. But then I'm like, well, I'll see them and we'll catch up.
Yeah,
I'll see them in person.
What if when we post things, we just send them to you directly?
Text
Yeah.
them
Text
to
you
me.
pictures.
But I'm like, oh my god, look at all these wonderful things that I haven't seen, But then I'm like, you know what? I'll see them in person. We'll catch up. We'll
it's all
have a
good.
drink, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. It's been, but on the days that I am not on my phone as much or at all, I feel a million times better. It is the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
really
feel
is.
so less hectic. You're not like living in your head. You're present. You're living in the moment in your actual life.
Yeah, as opposed to other people's lives.
Yeah, versus like,
Yeah.
God, all of this shit that starts just scrolling through your brain when you're looking at things constantly. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so hectic. I can't breathe sometimes.
It's
Like, sometimes
too
I just have
much.
it's
You have
just
goldfish attention span.
Yeah.
Which is so I feel like it's crazy how much I feel like my brain has changed from the time I was a kid, because I used to read constantly as a kid.
Dude, that's such a good. I think it has changed our brains. It's physically changed our brains. My mom brought some boxes over that had all of these journals of mine from like high school and college, and I started reading some of them. And like, I used to be so close with myself. Like, I journaled every day, and I was reading these. Like, these are such vivid accounts of like what is going on in my life and how I'm feeling. And I feel like I had a more compassionate relationship with myself. And I think since social media, I have journaled a lot less. I feel like I've grown more distant from myself, from like my actual feelings and thoughts. And I'm trying hard, like I told you guys, to get back into journaling and stuff. But yeah, social media is really tempting.
Well, that's all social media is. It's creating somebody who looks like you but isn't you.
Yeah,
You
your
know?
avatar.
Yeah,
Oh, so
exactly.
weird.
It's real. Like, you're using yourself as a sim almost.
Oh,
where it's
that
like,
is weird to
instead
think
of
about.
picking from
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna use the pink shirt and whatever. It's like,
Yeah,
all right, I'm
Second
gonna
Life.
get rid of this blemish with this app. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna change the lighting in this app, and like, it's just, what are you doing? Who are you, like, who are you lying to? I know you're lying to everybody, but you're probably lying to yourself a little bit. And like, no wonder we're all so like splintered as far as
Yeah, that's a good way
our
to put it.
self-image.
Great way to
I
put
don't
it.
know. I just know that, when I'm on social media or just looking at screens all day, I feel more depressed. I feel more burnt out. I feel more mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
It's and then the days I'm not on it, I feel energized and calm. Way less anxiety. It's
Yeah.
just
so much more at peace.
yeah. I just found this was from 2017, so the numbers are even higher now. But the average internet user has 7.6 social media accounts.
Wow.
And
man. Yeah.
social media users skyrocketed 121 million, and that's in 2017. So who knows what it is this past year?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
that's nuts.
crazy.
It's just, social media is not real, and it's making us like, I feel like it's making us feel like we're having human interaction when we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, Instagram is essentially a sex robot. It's just like, it's just you going like, oh, I hung out with my friends today. Bitch, no, you didn't. You looked at some photos of people you kind of knew in college. And you
It's not the
think-
same.
Yeah, it's not the
No.
same at all, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well,
Ooh, send us your tips on how to have a healthier relationship with
please.
technology. I would love to hear what you guys are up to with
definitely.
this stuff.
Please remember to give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes if you haven't already. Subscribe on iTunes if you haven't yet. And we are getting really close to 900 5-star reviews or ratings. I'm sorry, on iTunes, and we would love to
Break 1,000!
break 1,000 by the end of the year. And so, man,
lovely
that'd be
gift that
so
would
cool. Also, if you haven't joined our Patreon, we give a free shirt out to the review of the week anytime we do Patreons, and so that's a way to potentially get some free swag, and it helps
yeah.
us out. So yeah.
All right.
Yay.
Check, the dicksbydelaney.com is still happening. Thank you for everybody's support. My gosh, just the orders are flowing.
Yeah.
And I'm already thinking of, things I want to do with this business in the future and like how I'm going to scale. And it's really all because of you. I would say 90% of my orders are Self-Helpless fans.
That's
That
so
is
neat.
incredible.
Oh man.
Yeah. You guys are amazing.
best.
I love you.
Also, there's a new episode of Wrists of Fury out today. So go find it on YouTube. It's just YouTube Wrists of Fury, and Delaney and Taylor are going to be guests on the show very, very soon. We're about to shoot the episode, so keep your eyes peeled for that.
She's going to kick our butt.
Oh my God. It's going to be so embarrassing. Can't wait.
Show. It's such a fun
I'm
show.
gonna cry.
So you guys have anything
When does
else?
this come out? The 10th?
December 10th.
ttomcomedy.com for show dates. This weekend, I am at the Chicago Improv, which is in Schaumburg, which is not Chicago, but it's close to Chicago if
Close
you're
enough.
near Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm bitter because I looked it up and I was like, this isn't Chicago. And then at the end of the month, I will be at Comedy Works South at the Landmark. That's December, I believe, 28th. Through New Year's Eve, which there's 3 shows on New Year's Eve. So please come. That is a full weekend.
Bring Taylor some Gatorade.
Yes, please, Gatorade, please.
Oh, this is December 10th. This is coming out.
Yeah.
Love It First Cousin is out today.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I forgot. Yeah, I'm launching the comedy special is out today. Go to DelaneyFisher.com to watch it. It's completely free. Donations are appreciated, but it's just out there, baby. Just go
It's so
take a
good, you
look
guys.
at it.
It's so funny and informative. It's so great. Delaney
There
did
it
such a
is.
great job.
Boom.
All right.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Talk to you next
Bye.
week. Bye.
Oh, we love you guys so much. To continue to support Self-Helpless Podcast, go to selfhelplesspodcast.com for anything and everything you could want. We have our links to Patreon, merch, our individual websites, our Facebook group, Amazon link, full episodes, also our contact for our P.O. box and email. And you can follow Self-Helpless Podcast on Instagram, as well as us individually. I am at ttomcomedy or Taylor Tomlinson, depending on if you're on Instagram or Twitter, ttomcomedy.com.
And I'm at Kelsey Cook Comedy on Instagram, at Kelsey Cook on Twitter, and kelseycook.com for tour dates.
And I'm at Delaney Fisher on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and at Dicks by Delaney for some good old-fashioned dick stuff on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. And you can also follow Self-Helpless on Facebook.
Great. Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Yay,
we love you.